Good evening, Drew.
Oh,
Oh,
buddy.
oh, well, that came out wrong.
Yeah. Whoa.
Let's try that again.
I,
Woo.
I
Good evening, Drew.
I was about to say I probably don't sound 100% because I'm not 100%, but
Oh,
but you sound woof. You okay, buddy?
I'm just tired.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I was actually up all night last night because uh there were people at work that I needed to talk to that live in a time zone that's directly
Uh,
opposite of ours. So
yuck.
yeah, and I just haven't been sleeping good anyway, man. I don't know. I've been a little under the weather myself, but I'll be really looking forward to next week when we get some time off.
Indeed,
Yeah,
indeed.
you're taking time off, right?
Yes.
When are
Yeah.
when do you go out?
I'm working Monday and Tuesday,
Yeah,
and I
same.
have the rest of the year off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. But that does sort of lead me into a topic that I wanted to get out in front of the episode here, and that is
Okay.
when are we exchanging treats?
Oh, I don't know. When do you want to do that?
Yours is on the way.
Okay.
It's coming to my house. I will have it after this weekend. So I'm thinking. So okay, let's let's do a little housekeeping here. So
Okay.
do
Okay.
we want to record next Thursday?
We.
That's the 23rd. I don't see why not.
I don't see why not.
Okay, I for some reason I thought that I thought next Thursday was something we had going on. But okay, okay.
I
So
don't think. I don't think so.
all right, let's make next Thursday treat day.
Okay.
And I will have to find a way to get you the present I got you, but I will probably just bring it to your house.
Well, yeah, we can figure that out. Your present is also at my house right now.
Ooh, okay, but we can't open it till we record, though.
So I understand that.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. I really hope you like what I did. I took a little leap this year, man. I'm not gonna lie. I went a slightly different direction, so I'm really kind of interested to see
Okay.
see
Okay.
what you think. Okay,
All right.
so recording next Thursday. Next Thursday, the 23rd, will be the big Christmas extravaganza,
Yeah.
and we'll exchange treats.
Woo.
Okay, let's dive in because it looks like it's going to be a pretty heavy video game episode. Of course, you never know with us where it's going to go.
You never know.
You never know.
No. You never know.
Okay, so it looks like you've been playing Halo Infinite.
I've been playing the Halo Infinite campaign.
Okay.
The single player experience, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good, Drew. It's pretty good.
Now,
I'm really impressed with how good it is.
okay, I have a lot of questions for you.
Okay. Okay. I'm here.
Okay,
Yep.
so question number one. You're obviously playing this on your Xbox then.
But yes, my Series
Your
S,
Series
The-
S.
the cheap, the one you actually can get without too much effort. Yeah.
And are you using Game Pass?
Yes. I'm using Game Pass.
Yeah, so
Yep.
so see, there you go, right? Return on investment. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now tell me what you like about this.
Uh, so I haven't played a Halo game since like Halo 2. I'm not even sure I finished Halo 2. And honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that, I had Game Pass, I got like a ridiculous like deal on it on around like Black Friday, because I actually had let it lapse. I got it again just recently. I heard some people talk about like it was in some game of the year discussions. I'm like, you know what? I have Game Pass right now. I'll download it. I'll give it a try. And Halo has always been, at least on the single player, like to me, always felt like you're just basically walking through glorified corridors, right? Right.
Mhm.
It's a very linear, like it's very mission structured, where you start this mission and you go from beginning to end. There's not a lot of variation or different approaches to the game. It's a very basic forward, point at bad guys, pull trigger, bad guys die. This one, they kind of sprinkled in some of that open world sauce where you get, after like an hour, you get dropped in this open world map and you can, go and do their side stuff. And there's still like big missions and they happen in a linear format. But the thing that really makes this game good for me is they added this grappling hook. And the grappling hook may be the single greatest mechanic I've ever seen in a first person. Like it is done so well. It feels so incredibly awesome. They integrated it well in the combat, in the movement. It's so good, Drew. It's so good. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So they also tried to add this thing where, like, hey, you have a grappling hook, and there's other like the grappling hook's bound to, like, you know, like your item slot, right? And there's other items you can use. There's like a shield and like thrusters and I don't know, something else, because all of those are garbage, because to equip them you can't have your grappling hook equipped, and it's just not worth it. It's I want to grapple all the things all the time. I want to grapple. I want to shoot my grapple at some big bad guy, punch him in the face, shoot a bunch, grapple away, let my shield seal, grapple back in, do the whole damn thing over again. That particular gameplay loop is done really, really well.
Well, it's funny because I have seen a lot of videos on TikTok of people doing some shenanigans in both the multiplayer and the campaign of Halo, and I've seen things where people will blow up a warthog and grapple to it as it is launched away, which then launches them. And I watched a guy. I'll try to find the video on TikTok, but literally this guy traversed 3,000 meters, like 3 kilometers in the game, just by flying through the air using the grappling hook and some shenanigans. To me, it has like the same thing sort of happened when Breath of the Wild launched, and in Breath of the Wild you could like freeze things and then like launch yourself off of them. It really reminds me of that, and I have enjoyed some of the videos that have come out of it. Yeah,
they have a really strong physics engine, and then they clearly use it for everything. And it just feels they did a 343 Industries, or that's who does it now, right? And they did a spectacular job with this game, I think, at least. Now, granted, it's not perfect. Like, I tried, like, I was maybe 2.5 hours into the game. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on in the story. So then I read like an article to catch me up, and I still don't really know what's going on in the story, except for there's creatures that don't look like me and they want to kill me,
right?
So I have to kill them first.
Yep.
And there's a blue lady, and it's a different blue lady from the other games.
It's capital N, capital C, not Cortana, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
but like you skip, you get through the story bits, and when you're done with the story bits, you get to shoot your grappling hook into more bad guys' faces, and it's good. It's really good. That part is good.
So how many hours are you into this so far?
According to the internet, I'm about halfway through the campaign.
Wow.
I'm not like, I guess you can like rush the campaign in about like 10 to 12 hours. I am not doing that. There's these missions where basically, you know, hey, there's bigger bad guys, like little boss things, and you can go there and try to kill the boss, and you unlock like a special weapon. And those fights are just delightful because like everything is really stacked against you. They have like, you know, artillery and vehicles, and I just got me and my grappling hook, and we just get at it.
We just get after it.
Yep, it's good.
Yeah, so this is the point in the conversation where we do the classic, you know, Paul and Drew disagree on something twist. I have never liked Halo ever. Like, even when Halo 1 came out, I played it. You know, I played it co-op with my brother because, you know, I think I had just graduated college. Maybe I was a senior in college when I got my first Xbox. But I, you know, had that home over the holidays, and I played Halo, and this was back in the early days of Xbox Live, and I tried playing it online, and both the multiplayer and the single player of Halo just never really gripped me. And I'm a person who loves first-person shooters, and I understand how important Halo is to the evolution of shooters and multiplayer games on both consoles and the PC, but I have tried so many times, and I have bounced so hard off of every Halo game that I have ever tried to play.
Yeah, I recently, like, Game Pass, they have all of them on there with some better graphics. And you know what? Those games, they're not good. They're not, the games. at least the ones I've tried or played, like they get better, but like they're not good. But I don't know if you can like just I don't know, make up your own story. This game is so much better than the other Halo games, at least in my opinion. Like it's
Well, your comment reminded me of something. There's a YouTube channel, this guy named Noodle, and he put out a video of why Halo Anniversary, and trust me, you will never meet a more Halo like centric person. And this guy actually has a pretty funny YouTube channel, and he did a video on YouTube on why Halo is very important, and then he did this whole other video of like, hey, here's how to fuck up Halo. Like I'll put both of those in the show notes this week, okay. But they're both really good videos that are worth watching. I did download Halo Infinite. I played for 5 minutes and I realized that when you aim down the sights, it just zooms. And big note. Well,
different weapons do different things when you zoom. Yeah, you have to like just go. I'm just gonna hit fire because I don't have time to zoom because grapple hook, baby.
Yeah, maybe
I'm zipping all over the place.
That's fair. Maybe if I played until I got the grappling hook, I would like it. I don't know how soon you get it, but
you get it before you get opened up into the open world, so you kind of have to get through. But the beginning of the game feels very much like old Halo. It's like, here's a really long corridor, and you're going to walk through it. And every once in a while, you're going to stop, and you're going to shoot some stuff, and then you're going to walk down through it. Of course, because it's an open world game, you can find, I think they're called Spartan cores. They're big green glowy boxes. I don't know, big green glowy boxes. And if you get enough green glowy boxes, you can upgrade your shield or your grappling hook. And once you get the second upgrade for the grappling hook, it basically reduces the cooldown, and it allows you to do things like climb mountains with your grapple hook.
Wow.
Once you get that, like the whole, it's like I can go anywhere in a straight line because grapple hook. You got it. But yeah, it's. I mean. They should have just called the game Grapple Hook. I mean,
well, the only game that I played where like the grapple hook was just incredible was Titanfall 2. Did you play that?
I played Titanfall 1, but I never played Titanfall 2.
The mobility in Titanfall 2 was just incredible, and that game is like a very criminally underrated game, even from a campaign perspective, because in addition to all the cool movement stuff, and you can be in a mech that loves you, and there's actually a pretty cool like kind of time travel mechanic in it as well that's really interesting. I don't know if you ever have the chance to play it, and I don't know where you can get it for like Xbox, but man, that game is good. That game is really good. Man, I wish I could like it, man. I tried. I don't know.
You know, I almost kind of pretend that it's not a Halo game, like because like I don't give two shits about the story or what's going on or why these people that don't look like me have to die or what this giant ring I'm on is broken and they're trying to fix it. I don't know why. I don't know why they're trying to do it. I don't know why I care to stop it.
The only game,
but I got a grapple hook, Drew. I'm gonna keep using it.
I feel like the only game that has a more convoluted lore than Halo is Destiny, which coincidentally made by all the same people originally.
Yeah.
Speaking of, hey, quick diversion. Have you fired up Destiny 2 recently?
I have not.
Oh my God, Star Horse is everything. There's this whole event going on right now where it's basically a game show that is hosted by Xur and a Star Horse, and it's like a parody of every classic game show, but you have to progress through rounds and kill classic Halo 1 bosses, really, with some pretty cool rewards. I don't know, it's really funny to me. Like universally, it is the one thing in Destiny 2 that I think everybody sort of universally loves. Anyway, if you haven't had a chance to check that out, you should.
I should just walk up to my son, be totally nonchalant, and go, "What's Star Horse?" And see what he does.
Oh my God, please do.
Okay.
Please do. Because he's still playing it, right?
Oh yeah, I think he's literally playing it right now.
He probably, yeah, Dares of Eternity they call it. It's pretty good, and then they just launched their holiday theme stuff. But speaking of games that I've been playing, coincidentally on Xbox Game Pass, there's this game called Dicey Dungeons. Have you heard of it?
I have not.
Okay, it is a roguelike type game. Which, okay, don't shut off Skype.
Okay.
Don't shut off Skype yet.
Nope, I won't.
But what it is you are a hero, and the concept of the game is you choose a hero, and at the start of the game you have a warrior, and you are represented by a cute little blue dice who's really excited to be there. And what it is you have to progress 5 levels, and then you fight a boss. And in order to, and for each hero, and there are different archetypes, right? So there's like warrior, and then you unlock thief, and then you unlock robot, and then tinkerer, and then witch, and then I forget what the 6th one is, but they all have different mechanics. So like what it is, it's like a turn-based combat game where you progress through a dungeon, and you can choose what enemies to fight. You roll dice, and your characters have abilities that some of them require a very specific number that you have rolled, and some will do damage based on like a 6 or a 4 or whatever you roll. And then there are other mechanics for like poison and defense and all this stuff. But what makes it really interesting is the warrior is the most bone standard way to go through the game, and it is the easiest. And I think like the first time I played, I actually beat the boss because it's really straightforward. But then when you get to the thief, which you have to rely on his poison mechanics to stack poison on enemies by getting certain dice. And then the one that completely blows my mind is there's a character called the robot. And instead of rolling a set number of dice, you have to click a button that says calculate, and it rolls a dice, and then it adds it to the total. And you have to basically like not go over a certain limit, and you can keep rolling dice until you get there.
Huh.
And then as you get damaged by other enemies, each of the characters has like a limit break thing where, you know, you could do extra damage or heal yourself or this other stuff. It is really cute art direction. Some of the enemies are really funny when you fight them. And it's like this really like weird perverted game show type thing where you compete against Lady Luck, and at the end you spin a wheel and you always lose. You know, it itches a really interesting part of my brain because, you know, back when we could all get together and play board games, I really liked playing games that had dice, like Roll for the Galaxy or other games that we played that had strong dice mechanics, like Dark Moon, and it really fires the neurons in the part of my brain that remind me of those games. Now, I don't know if that is on Xbox Game Pass for you.
It is not, but you know what it's on, Drew?
What?
It's on the Switch.
It's on the Switch. I
might have to. That'd be a pretty good Switch game, I think.
Yeah, I think because here's the thing. Even if you get all the way to level 5 and beat the boss, I think you're in about 10 or 15 minutes tops.
Okay.
So it is a perfect on the go type game. I can't recommend it enough. Every run is different and then you, of course, just like roguelikes, you will find treasure chests that give you other abilities, and you have the ability to swap out the abilities you have. So it definitely makes for some pretty unique things. So you're trying to synergize and develop a play style, and then different enemies do different things. I don't know. I really fell in love with it. I don't think it's a newer game, so maybe I'm just late to the party on it. But I've really, really enjoyed playing it. And the music is super cute. Like it's got like really nice chiptune-y, like 8-bit type music in it. It's just really well done.
It's only $14.99 on the Switch.
That price you can't afford not to.
I'm buying it right now.
Wow, I did it.
Hold on, hitting credit card. Here we go.
Okay. Yep. You should read it out loud, and I won't write it down.
Mm-hmm. I bought it. It's downloading now.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you have to let me know what you think. Oh. Okay. Well, let's just keep the video game train rolling here. You put this in here, and you're talking about the Game Awards.
Yeah. So the quote unquote official The Game Awards happened last week, a couple weeks ago, I don't know, whatever. Did you pay any attention to this
No,
I usually don't
no,
either.
I don't.
But I listen to a podcast called The Besties. Uh, it's done by a couple of the McElroy brothers and a couple other people, and it's a video game book club, and by listening you're a member. And I actually listened to like some of their predictions actually after the Game Awards came out, and they were predicting some of the games, and they were going over the stuff. So I went online and I looked, and there's a lot of categories. But I just want to talk about the game of the year category. Okay?
All right.
Okay. So this is supposed to recognize a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And there were six contenders. Okay. Deathloop,
Which I loved.
would you like quite a bit? It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village.
Six solid games by all accounts. Now to be fair, I've only played one of these games, and it is Deathloop.
Okay. I've played Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Great game. I've played
That
Deathloop.
was a PlayStation
game,
5.
It is.
Yeah,
PlayStation 5 exclusive.
Yeah.
Deathloop is
good. It's good. Move on.
I did not mesh with it. But It Takes Two won.
And you like that game.
Okay. I enjoyed playing that game. There is no way in hell that game deserves to be Game of the Year.
Okay, well then, all right. Let's. I thought you were going to come here and say, yeah, that makes sense because you talked about this.
No, okay. So I enjoyed that game because I played it with my son. Okay, the game does have some. The gameplay is redeeming. Everything that's not the gameplay. The story, Drew, the story and the racist book.
The racist book?
Yeah, so there's this book. What's his name? It Takes Two book. He's the book of love. He's this I don't know. He's a book. He's alive. He talks to you, whatever that word is. And imagine like every painful like Mexican stereotype, and that's how this guy talks.
Oh no.
Or maybe not Mexican.
Oh no.
I don't, it's really racist. It's really racist.
And it's not trying to be ironic. Like it's.
I don't know what it's trying to do. I think it's trying to be funny. But it's bad, and there's also so the book is okay. Here's the story in like 30 seconds. There's a couple. They have a kid. The couple, they're going through some shit. They're probably going to get a divorce. The kid gets sad, cries, turns mom and dad into dolls, and they have to not be dolls. And along the way, they discover I choose to I guess you could take it as they fall back in love. I turned to take it as they realize, yeah, we used to like each other, but now we don't. So that's the story. And like there's this book of love, and he tries to teach you lessons about what it is to be in love, and he's a caricature and racist. And there's literally a scene. There's a point where the couple believes that if they can get their daughter to cry, they'd no longer be dolls. And they do that by destroying her favorite stuffed animal. And there's literally a scene where you're dragging the stuffed animal off a table, and it's like screaming and fighting the whole time. It's truly horrific.
Yikes.
But really the racist, I mean, honestly, I think as, whoever votes on the Game Awards, they get together in a room and they're like, It Takes Two. And someone goes, that's the one with the racist book in it, right? And they go, yeah, that shouldn't be on here. And then no one votes for it. but instead it won. So, Drew, I have a question for you.
All right.
What is your game of the year?
Deathloop.
Deathloop?
Yeah,
Okay.
not even close. I mean, there are other games in other categories that I have played that I think were also good. But if we're limiting it to the 6 that you listed, it's Deathloop. I mean,
Okay. Now, what if it's any game this year?
Any game on the list.
Any game that came out in 2021. What was your game of 2021? Because I'll tell you what, mine's not on this list.
Oh, interesting. Okay. When I look through the entire list, I would probably say, I don't know. I mean, Deathloop's in a lot of categories. Let me just finish scrolling through this because I didn't even look at some of these categories. Let me just see because there's a lot of repeats. Okay. Well, did it come out this year? Okay, so Microsoft Flight Simulator didn't come out this year, and neither did Cyberpunk 2077. Right?
I wonder if they did a weird thing because last year didn't happen. This is really still like.
Well,
when did Cyberpunk 20?
I don't know. Microsoft Flight Simulator for me, even as a person who hates flying, I really like that game. But I'm not. But I'm not.
Cyberpunk came out December 10th, so they do this weird thing where it's like December to December.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely not Cyberpunk.
No.
Best esports. The only for me, I could go either way here. I would say either Deathloop or I really like Forza Horizon
5. If I had to pick something from the Game of the Year on nominees, I'd go with Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Mm-hmm.
But if I could pick any game to be my Game of the Year, it'd be Forza Horizon 5.
Okay, but it is on this list. It is. Okay. Yeah, it's further down.
But not for the Game of the Year category. It won Best Audio or something.
Yeah, and innovation and accessibility.
Oh, yeah. Forza Horizon 5
it's great.
It's a great game. It's a great game.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah. Are you still playing it?
I haven't been playing it because I've been shooting my grapple hook.
You've been grappling.
I've been grappling.
Yep.
I've been grappling all the hooks and doing that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I really like Forza Horizon 5. I mean, I loved 4, and I was a person who was a purist, and I really enjoyed just regular Forza, and I never got into the Horizon games. But then I played 4, and I'm like, this is great. And then when 5 came out, and it's on Game Pass, and it's just, it's really good.
And really good. I don't really like racing games, but Forza Horizon 5 is just. It's so good. It's just so it's upbeat. There's horrible voice acting and people are talking to you, but it's all like, hey, you're really good at racing that car super fast.
Yeah,
let's go over here and race our car super fast. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Baby driver? Why don't you go over here? All right,
hey, champion.
Yeah. Hey, champion with a British accent that you don't get to change.
You're constantly
Bombarded.
Unlocking stuff. Yeah. Just constantly unlock new races, new cars, money, hats, horns. You're just, and it's just constantly
you're finding cars in barns, it's everywhere.
Yeah, you gained a level. Here's something you didn't need, but aren't you glad you have it now?
Cars are flying out of my pee hole.
Yeah.
Okay. So
it's good.
So let's twist this discussion a little bit then, since we're here for the video games today. What, in your opinion, was a game that came out this year that ultimately disappointed you?
So obviously, Deathloop,
okay.
I think the game that disappointed me the most was Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
I thought people liked that game.
People did like that game.
Okay, why didn't you like that game?
So, to play this game, you basically have to understand that they should have just gotten rid of the combat completely and made it just like a telltale talking simulator. I think it would have been better.
Okay.
Because it's really a walking simulator where you talk to people and every once in a while you're like, this room is big and circular. I bet there's going to be a fight here.
Oh.
And then there's a fight here, and the combat is mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
And then you talk for another hour, and you walk down some more corridors. And what really what irked me the most about this game is, hey, I play a lot of video games. I know the secret to getting to the end of the video game is basically keep pushing forward.
Right.
Right? Keep walking, because you're going to get to the next thing, and then your story is going to progress. Well, what would happen is, like, the Guardians of the Galaxy would start bantering, and they'd be right in the middle of the conversation, and then I enter in some invisible box that triggers the next cutscene, and the conversation would just stop, and then something else would happen, and they would never go back and finish that conversation. It was just over. You missed it. Ta-da. I played it for, I don't know, I got maybe 2/3 of the way through it, and I was just like, I just can't force myself to finish this game. I really wanted to like it, but I found it to be just mediocre. Maybe I'll go back and finish it one day, but it was not what I expected it to be. So it was disappointing to me. Okay, a lot of people liked it. I mean, the music, I give them that. The music, the art style, all great. I just didn't like the game part of the game. Yeah, that was me. What about you, Drew? What was your biggest disappointment?
Yeah, it's kind of a toss-up for me. I would say that the one that I was super excited to play and really, really tried to play over and over again was The Ascent. I was really excited for that, and I played it when I came out, and then they released patches that made it worse. There were certain parts of it that just were broken. I really tried my best with that game, but I had to set it down about probably 20 or so hours in, just because I couldn't do it anymore. It just, they kept releasing patches, and it made it stutter, and that is a game that has to be fluid to be played well. And then the other one would be probably Battlefield 2142. Or Battlefield 2042, sorry. That game, I mean, Battlefield games are historically broken in usually funny and good ways, but this one is broken
Right.
in a lot of bad ways. And they've made progress. And it's interesting because the folks that I play a lot of online games with, we were pretty much split in half about who was going to play Call of Duty and who was going to play Battlefield. And then Electronic Arts did a free-to-play sort of beta weekend of Battlefield, and it left a okay taste in my mouth. Some people were really turned off by it. But if you were an Xbox Game Pass, which is now just just Game Pass. It's not just PC Game Pass anymore. I don't know. They changed the name of it.
I think it's Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah, Game Pass Ultimate. If you were a member of that, you had access to a 10-hour free to play when the game launched, and I tried it, and I'm just like, no, I can't. Battlefield has not clicked for me since Battlefield 3/4. 3 was awesome, and all the ones that came before that were awesome. 4 was okay. I eventually came around and really enjoyed 4, and then they did Hardline, and then they did Battlefield 1, and then they did Battlefield 5, and I couldn't do it anymore. And this one, there's a lot of potential there. Some of the stuff that gets broken in those games is funny. I mean, it's annoying and it's funny, but there's just enough in that game that's broken right now that I can't do it. And it's really sad because I'm having a lot of fun with the new Call of Duty this year that a lot of people don't like, but a lot of my friends that would be playing this game are not, because they're basically deluding themselves into thinking that Battlefield is good. So
yeah. I have never played either Battlefield or Call of Duty. In fact, my biggest exposure to Call of Duty, I think, has been watching you play it on Twitch once. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Call of Duty will always have a pretty good spot in my heart, and yeah, the new one this year, which is Vanguard, which is more World War II theme. I'm not super hype on the theme, but they just, they're tweaking it, and I'm excited because the Call of Duty sort of franchise rotates between a series of 3 development studios, and Sledgehammer, who has it now, they're the last ones to get it before it goes back to Infinity Ward, and Infinity Ward did Modern Warfare 2019, which was great. I mean, that to me was such a great game. It was themed well. It was more modern. It had really tight gameplay, and I really liked it. And then Cold War, which came out last year, slowed the game down quite a bit. I didn't like it as much. We ended up playing a lot of hardcore where it's like one shot, one kill. And then Vanguard this year, it has the same kind of speed as Modern Warfare, but like I said, I'm just not really huge on the theme. But yeah, I don't know. I really enjoy it.
Cool.
Okay, so sort of drifting away from video games to close this out, I have a dilemma and I need your help.
Okay.
I own a Kindle. My lady friend bought it for me when I had my quote-unquote 40th birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
And I've read books on my Kindle. I know that you are a Kindle user. However, after buying my iPad Mini, I installed the Kindle app on there, and I've been rereading Dune, as I promised that I would. But the question remains, Paul, if you were going to read an ebook, right? Okay, hold on. Let me back up. I know you read your comics on the iPad.
I do.
Because of the bright colors. But if you were going to read a book, where would you read it?
Always on the Kindle.
Always on the Kindle. Never. You don't...
Always on the Kindle.
Okay, so why?
No. So I will occasionally. So, to me, okay. All right. For me, reading is a end of the day wind down my brain activity.
Mm-hmm.
It's just when I read. My Kindle is like right on my nightstand, right beside my bed. That's where it lives. That's its home. So for me, when I decide it's time to read, it's everything needs, like, I'm turning off for the day. It's the end of the day. I could not use an iPad and all of the wonderful distractions that are on there. Like, I know me, if I had the iPad and I was trying to read a book, my eyes would be going over the words, but my brains would be, I wonder what's on Twitter.
Really?
And then I'd be looking at Twitter, and there we go. I also really like how text looks on the e-ink screen. The quote unquote pixel density is way higher on the Kindle. I have the Kindle Oasis.
Right. You have a fancy one.
The pixel density is way higher than even a Retina screen on an iPad. I like the way text looks. I like the fact that it's single purpose. I can't check Twitter on my Kindle. It's just for reading. I like that I can read and not have to have a big backlit white screen, beating on my face. Occasionally, if I'm sitting at waiting at the doctor's office and I want to read, I will continue reading my book on my phone. But I never read the Kindle app on my iPad. I don't even know if the Kindle app is installed on my iPad. I'd have to look. It's out in the, it is because sometimes I'd send PDFs to it, just for nerd stuff. But no.
So let me say,
Kindle.
So let me say, right? Like, I'm not here to try to convince you otherwise, right? I'm just generally curious which one you use, and you have all good reasons for that. But the only thing I would sort of offer in return of that is, I hadn't used my Kindle app for quite some time, because I hadn't really used my iPad for anything other than as a second monitor forever. But there is a dark mode for that now, right? Where it's black background, and on the newer iPads, that black is pretty dark, and the resolution, especially on some of the newer iPads, is really sharp and crisp. So it's a little easier on the eyes. I for one would never want white background if I was laying in bed, because much like you, I do most of my reading at night. So I like the fact that I can have that darker, semi backlit thing that isn't as hard on the eyes in a dark room.
See, and you also have the iPad Mini,
right?
Where I have the dinner tray, 12.9 inch iPad Pro.
That's a good point.
I don't want to hold that thing in bed at all, because I'll probably drop it on my face and hurt myself.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, fair. That's actually something I didn't consider. It is considerably heavier and bigger.
Yeah, it's big. It's a two-handed thing. Yeah.
Now, when you read, so you obviously are sitting up and laying back. I sometimes will put the like it against my headboard and lay flat and read. I don't know if you're capable of doing that.
I often say a lot of times where I read, I'm literally laying like flat on my back, my head up, with my Kindle like hovering above my head.
Okay. Ooh, yeah, that is big danger. That is advanced reading. Like that is.
And like if I drop my Kindle, right, it's light. Like it's a oopsie doopsie. Like if I drop my iPad on my face, like I'm going to the emergency room.
Oh yeah, you're gonna break a tooth, bud.
Oh yeah.
Okay. But all the other reasons you gave were good. But the one that is interesting to me, right, is I want to check Twitter. Like if I'm engrossed in a book, I mean that's what I'm there to read, right?
Oh, I can't. I have no self-control, Drew. None.
You'll just flip away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm really trying. I'm really resisting the urge to check Twitter right now.
Oh, because I mean, I'm boring. I don't blame you.
No, but it's like it's right there. The icon's right there. It's right there.
Yeah.
It's a little birdie. I could just click on you, and then in 5 seconds, I can see what's new on Twitter.
You could.
I could. I won't. I'll be good.
Okay. Thank you.
But
very professional.
Maybe I'll open it so I can look at it right after we're done. I just have it sitting there.
Are you just there? Is there particular content you're there for in Twitter, or is it just you just want to see what everybody's has going on?
I want it to wash over me like a warm light. Just all of the content right in my face, Drew. All of it. And someone that could be having a hot take or a beef right now on Twitter. And how would I know?
How would you know?
I need to get all the hot takes and see all the beefs.
How would you know?
I exactly, Drew. How would I know? Oh.
Okay. Well, we've sort of made it to all the things that I know that I wanted to talk about, and we have our big Christmas episode next week, so we can end this one now, so you can get over to Twitter.
Yeah, let's do it because then I can check. You know what?
Check
if I do it now, then maybe I can play a little Dicey Dungeons before I go to bed.
Ooh.
Because it's downloaded. It's downloaded.
Wow,
it's right there.
Man, what a time to be alive.
Let's wrap up the show, Drew. How about that?
All right, let's do it.
All right. As always, we're on the internet, doingbest.com. You can catch us on Twitter at doingbestpod. I'm on the Twitter, obviously, at Paul Baylor. And where can we find you, Drew?
Yeah, I'm over on Twitter at Pittfurg, Pattfurg. And as we kind of wind down the year here, and I'm going to have some time off, I will probably do a fair amount of streaming over the break, probably some Flight Simulator, maybe some other games. But yeah, I'm over on Twitch at Pittfurg as well, Pittfurg.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody.
See ya.